Are they serious? Are the North Koreans serious about giving up their nukes? Because it appears from news reports that we've seen here and there that there is activity at some of their nuclear sites, and some experts are saying that they show no sign of denuclearization.
Well, this is very much a work in progress in the sense that there are two elements, really. There is this idea of disabling and basically demolishing some of the nuclear facilities. And then ultimately this idea of North Korea giving up its already developed nuclear weapons. So the role of Secretary Pompeo right now is to try to put this in terms of a very detailed-oriented process. His primary goal is to get a declaration of the North Korean facilities, the inventory, if you will, and then the beginning of the negotiations. This is where the bargaining happens, what, when, where, and how in terms of North Korea getting concessions and benefits. All of these things will show North Korea's commitment. But one of the indicators that I think for many of us in the community, as we're observing this idea of a net forward movement, is the fact that this is Secretary Pompeo's third meeting with Chairman Kim. And this idea that the high-level approach is still proceeding gives us the sense that it is a process in development, but that this is a net forward movement.
But John, we've seen Pompeo speaking in a recent interview saying that we're not going to put a timeline on North Korea negotiations. And we've also heard from President Trump saying that he actually compared to this a process to cooking turkey, saying that he's going to take his time here. So do you think Pompeo will be able to bring back those details back home?
Well, sure. I think in that respect, the overall game plan is to use the 2 years that Secretary Pompeo has mentioned in the past and basically try to break that down into different segments. If you look at it from Chairman Kim's perspective, he's actually been meeting with a lot of the different leaders and cutting side deals, and the coordination aspect and how this all ties into the denuclearization actions. And most importantly for Chairman Kim, as he's indicated, what he would get for certain denuclearization moves and this idea of lifting or easing up on certain aspects of the sanctions. That's the timetable aspect that I think we might see a little more detail on. But for the immediate managing expectations for this trip, Secretary Pompeo is looking at the initial stages of getting this declaration, the idea of a list of the North Korean facilities, and that becomes a basis of benchmarking, the idea of segmenting the different pieces of this process going forward. And now that would essentially mark the beginning of the serious negotiations.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.